All right, welcome in, everyone. Welcome in, Hive. Hope you all are having an amazing Monday so far. This is day 36 of our challenge. You are in week 6 of this challenge. So today is go day for our enhancements that I mentioned on Friday. So we are now removing fruits, right? So we are entering the what we would like to call the spring season, right? So we need to convince our body not to hold any more, extra fat. As you know, we need to let them know that we're not heading into winter by having fruits, sugars, or anything that is sweet. So we want to uh, convince the body the truth that it is spring season. There is abundance there. So this is where we're focusing a lot on our green veggie foods like kale, uh, dark green leafy vegetables, spinach, and also high quality proteins, and once again, lots of water. So this is pretty much almost pretty much the end goal of releasing the extra storage that we have accumulated in our body. So by removing the sweet tasting food, we're able to convince our body that it is springtime. There is abundance of food that's coming in, so there is no longer a need to hold on to this food that we are storing in our body. So once again, yes, this is week number 6, and that will be the elimination starting today. So just stick to it as best as you can. Once again, this is kind of like the end goal in letting our body know to release the weight. And this is thing, once again, this is not like a permanent thing. It's just it's a season, it's a phase, and this season may last 4 to 6 weeks depending on your own health results. So if you're just losing your last stubborn 10 pounds, then obviously this may not take that long for you. Right now, if you have a lot to lose like myself, right, I need to lose another 50 pounds, then it may take up to 6 weeks, right? So it's really up to you. But once we hit that goal, then there is another path that emerges where we just we focus on maintaining. We're bringing back the fruits, right? So we're maintaining, and other stuff that what was once addictive, now we can go back to having those foods. And just once again, we've been practicing this for over 5 weeks now, which is just having that inner dialogue and just continuing to think of why we make these decisions on these foods, our expectations on what these foods will do for us, especially the taste. Once again, I brought a food back in early, right? And that was chips, right? Costco, just the regular kettle chips, just lightly salt, and it just tasted like chemicals for me. Like the taste of it just changed for me, right? And that's what happens when you start, clearing out things, and then most importantly, getting in the good stuff, right? Your palate will change, and what once was bland food may start to feel sweet and savory, right? Because we've been fed a lot of these enhancements to make food taste great, and somewhat addictive in nature. And part of that as well is removing nutrients for us to still feel hungry, right? So yeah, this is where once again we're wanting to tell our brains, tell our body that we are now, winter's over, we're heading into spring season. There's abundance of food, so we can finally release the excess weight that we were storing, because we don't need it for the long haul, right? Of a winter season, right? There's no scarcity, and once again, we, depending where we reside in the world, it's um, there's a variety of foods that we can choose from, and quantity of that, right, depending on your situation. But yeah, obviously, yeah, we're no longer needing to hunt and gather and forage for food like we used to, right? And the sad part of that, once again, is that we became less active on a daily basis, right? So definitely, the pandemic has changed a lot of things. Where we want our stuff delivered to our doors, right? That going out anymore is maybe just work in school and then head home, right? Uh, we remove our daily ability to move and be active, right? So, but yes, um, let's just we're 6 weeks in, or we finished 5 weeks, so very let's keep pushing, let's keep going, right? Hopefully you guys are reach this point on your own resolutions, your health goals for the start of 2026. And once again, I'm fully happy to support you on your health journey as well. Once again, I'm doing this version. Once again, the best health plan is the one that you can stay on it the longest, right? It doesn't have to come from me, but if there's something that you believe that's gonna help you, then go for it, and feel like it's easy and simple enough for you to do, that you can do it daily, weekly, monthly, then yes, by all means, go for it, right? So we have perceived this word diet in a text in a way where it became a fad and trend, instead of what the meaning of a diet is. It's the way of life, in meaning that it's having the foods that we're meant to eat, not having the foods that's been kind of marketed to us, right? And at the same time, easy and quick foods, because life is busy, right? And I get it, right? So, but at the same time, it's not your fault that we've been marketed these foods, right? Whether it's the grocery store, or whether seeing those popular logos as we drive on our way and to and from work or school, right? We've been conditioned to have these foods and treat it as its comfort food, right? And once again, they put stuff, just to, it will just say sugar and salt, right, to enhance and make these food taste great, right? And you'd be surprised the many names of sugar and how much it is in not only the sweet food, but also in the savory food. If you get to check the rotisserie chicken at Costco and be able to see the ingredients on there, there is a trace of sugar in that as well, right? And it's you say, oh, it's rotisserie chicken, right? But you'll be surprised, right? So But yeah, once again, I'm trying to remember, but I've lost about 15 pounds, and I did my blood work this morning, so kind of recovering from that, right? And as soon as it was done, I was getting a little bit lightheaded. I fasted about 13 hours, so my last meal was 8:30 the night before, right, on Sunday, and then I got into the labs, or I finally got my blood drawn around 9:30 a.m. So hoping that blood work and then also a urine sample as well. So hopefully it turned out. I joked with the Life Labs technician, and I was telling her, "Oh my goodness, I lost 15 pounds for this moment. Now I'm gonna have some rice and lechon, roasted pork, right?" So she laughed, and she's like, "Oh, feel free to bring some here." So, but yeah, it's unfortunately, uh, diabetes is not great, and I'm trying to get healthy for that, and hopefully have the term added to me post diabetic, right? So turning things around here. I'm not at the point where I'm, excuse me, taking insulin shots, right, like my dad did. But hopefully I am taking I think it's metformin here. Let me check. Sorry, just gotta check my pill bottle here. Yeah, metformin for that, and then also taking Sendo's amlodipine. Sorry, but for my blood pressure. So hoping to turn things around here. Once again, I did let myself go a lot with a lot of stress that's been happening offline. So once again, that led into a lot of emotional eating, and then got my diagnosis for diabetes on April, and just my body just did a 180 on me on that diagnosis, and so I just started feeling lightheaded for just the at work, and it never happened before until I got that diagnosis. So you can see how powerful the mind can be, right? Once it has its truth, right? When it believes a certain thing, right? Then sorry, lighting just disappeared on me. When the body has its truth, and it's, oh well, the doctor said we're diabetic, right? And then like we weren't, like New Year's, right? When you have New Year's, it feels like it's a new day, but it's no difference from the same day as yesterday, the same day as tomorrow, right? It's just a date that says that it's not like something, okay, every New Year something's gonna be imagining different at work or what. Internally, something that for us to believe that, okay, it's a fresh start, right? So once again, same thing here. It's like my body, once I heard that diagnosis from the doctor, all of a sudden it's like I can't go like work without having food. It was weird. It was just a weird feeling that like the next day, like my body's just stopped functioning as it used to, right? I had no problem like heading to work without breakfast, right? And then being able to almost go an entire shift after work, and then just having my first meal of the day, right? But now after I get my diagnosis for diabetes, like I can't even go like 30 to 2 hours without food, and it was just so weird. You can see that the mind is a powerful thing. It only knows truth, whether how you want to perceive it or not. Right? If you can't do it, You are right. If you can do it, you are right as well, right? And how's that, right? Because the body just only believes, the mind, the body, the soul just believes what you feed it, right? So, and takes that knowledge and documents it, right? So, very important that you be careful with the words you use. Once again, use it if you're doing weight loss. Obviously, you don't want to use the word lose, so right. So instead of using the word lose, use the word release, right? Let go, right? Because what's the thing, when we lose something, like we lose our keys, what do we tend to do? We need to find it, right? So that's the thing. We lose the weight, our bodies will tend to, oh my gosh, we might be in serious jeopardy here, that we may need to get it for a situation, right? So anywho, that's the thing. So hopefully, once again, my doctor didn't call me last time, so if he doesn't call me these next few days, and I assume that it went well, and then obviously my next one will have to be February, March, April, May, and then a quick one in June before I need to reset my need a new what you call it, we'll just say prescription, right, for another year of blood work, right? So I have a 1 year card, so every 3 months I need to go in for blood work. So yeah, the next one, once again, February, March, April, May will be my next one, and then early July will be my last one, and then I need to see my doctor for a new requisition card for a year. But yeah, hopefully, once again, I'm just for now, I'm just staying true with the plan. Obviously, today was another one-off, so try not to have too many of that. But once again, this medication, finally, I just had the last pill for my antibiotics, and hopefully that's it. I've been feeling a little bit drowsy and sleepy for the last week, so hopefully that's it, and I can regain my my mental focus and energy again. So, but yeah, obviously, it was a teeth or gum infection. So as soon as I was taking my antibiotics, the next day it was feeling a lot better. So I'd rather have the sleepiness and drowsiness and tiredness rather than having the pain, because that also was just taking me out, even in a terrible way, right? So just sleepiness is much better than feeling the pain, right? So, and obviously, pain and good feeling, our body documents. So you don't want having good moments and you're feeling pain for doing it, like streaming, and I'm going through my streams in discomfort and almost to the point where it's a throbbing pain. So obviously, don't want to tell to my body that maybe we shouldn't, streaming is not a good thing for us, right? So, but once again, I want to continue this journey and document my journey, and who knows, there are a couple of people that are doing this journey with me, and then if I'm encouraging others to find their own plans and get healthy, whether walking like I am doing my walks, then that is a win. So I'm paying it forward with the people I'm working with, and I'm paying it forward to those who are not ready to share their story, but obviously they want to improve their health, right? So I am I'm doing this for them as well, and then, once again, I'm doing it for myself. So I'm putting myself out there because that's how I got into this, situation. As there was no accountability. I didn't have to report to anyone, right? I just, I dealt the stress in my own way with emotional eating, right? Comfort food, my escape from, the everyday challenges, right? And this time around, the kind words and the encouragements have been very helpful and very motivating for me to just keep going, right? And I can't, I don't want to, it's easy for me to feel for myself, but at the same time, it's I can't fail because um, there are people who count on me to just motivate them, right? And believe that what I'm doing may also help them, or at the same time motivate them to search their own health path that will help them, right? So yeah, I'm just once again I'm gonna stay, keep going. I know once again after the blood work, I once again felt lightheaded, so definitely not gonna make it home for our prep meals, but so had to go to a restaurant nearby. Me and my wife had Vietnamese soup, so you guys who had pho will know what that is. So yeah, I just had to do that once again. It's very important to to keep going, right? Then be sidelined, right? And I don't want to be passing out on my way out of the labs, or passing out even driving, right? So luckily there's a place for us to that was close for us to have our morning or brunch, right? So just before lunch, right? So yeah, we were able to have a meal. So definitely not part of the plan. Obviously, the carbohydrates in there, right, with the noodles, right? So, but definitely at the same time, I've acknowledged before when I ate Vietnamese soup, like I can finish the bowl, right? I didn't change the size or anything. I had the same size, a large, right? But usually I even finished the broth. And this time I couldn't finish. I just had no room to finish the broth, right? So once again, going through the plan that I did for starting now 6 weeks, obviously your stomach starts to shrink, and you're feeling less likely to eat more, as you're going to be feeling more full more often, right? Because our body, our stomachs are meant to stretch, right? Just for especially the fall season, and where we're getting our fruits just to be and vegetables just to store up for the winter season. But our bodies our stomachs are meant to stretch, but they're not meant to stretch every single day, right? So we can stretch because sometimes you don't know when your next meal will be. That's why you pack, if you find a fruit tree or fruits on the bushes or whatnot, obviously we're gonna eat our share of our fill, right? And that may last us for how many days before we're able to see another stockpile of food, right? So our stomachs are meant to stretch, but they're not meant to stretch every single day. And that's kind of what I punished myself in my early 20s, when all you can eat became a thing, right? And especially Japanese food was one of my favorites. So me and a buddy always went for like 4 rounds of Japanese food, and then we will do it again tomorrow, right? What do you expect, under $20 for all you can eat, right? So it was just like, we could afford to do that every single day, right? And obviously in our 20s with our high metabolism at the time, it was nothing to us. But at the same time, you're stretching your stomach, right? And definitely you're definitely not going to be feel fulfilled um, with a simple, say, heading to McDonald's with a burger, large fries, and quarter pounder with cheese, right? That's gonna last you for a bit until you feel hungry again, right? Especially not having a lot of nutrition in it, you're gonna feel hungry again, right? And you have space in your stomach. So once again, one of the six hunger types, that empty stomach feeling. Even though you might, the people have been fasting for periods of time. Empty stomach is empty stomach, but doesn't mean that if you're especially you're uh, getting your nutritional requirements met. Empty stomach just means an empty stomach, right? Doesn't mean like you're hungry, you're starving, right? So, but that's the thing, just once again, just continue to have those food conversations to yourself, leading into having the food of choice, our expectations of it, also during when we're eating it, how it's making us feel, and then obviously 30 minutes later, after we consume the food, and then realizing, all right, that was a good choice, or that was a terrible choice, right? So like I said, I'm eating the bag of chips, and my expectations change, saying that this doesn't have that salty taste anymore. All of a sudden, it's just starting to feel more chemical during the eating process, and then obviously, after that, just like, yeah, that there were better choices to make. So, but probably by all means, well, I'm not saying it's going to be 100%. That may be behind us, or it may not be. So, but overall, after having that tasty of chemicals, I'm just like, it was just off-putting, right? And for me, I don't eat a lot at the time, before I started this challenge. Like, I just like the Ruffles salty chips, light salty chips, right? Simple, right? Just a taste of salt. But now it just, yeah, that didn't taste great whatsoever. So yeah, once again, even the Vietnamese soup. I mean, sure, it was a cold, rainy day today, so me and my wife decided. Well, once again, my wife wanted it too, so we thought it was a perfect fit for the day to stay warm. So with a nice hot broth in our tummy. So yeah, it did. It tastes great and whatnot. But at the same time, having the observation that, yeah, I can't finish this one. Maybe I'll downgrade to small or regular size, right? Or yeah, it was good, right? For the moment. So, but yeah, I mean, we don't do this now. We don't do that every month now, right? So yeah, things are changing, and once again, it's not forever, right? But at the same time, at least you have the system of being able to transition in different season, which is our evolution season, not like the current season that we're experiencing. Like for us in North America, it's kind of like the winter season, right? We're not, we can change it up, right? We don't have to like, oh, it's winter, because we're not even doing it. We're not like storing. We are storing food, but at the same time, like we're not stopping eating, right? So, winter season for a lot, when our evolution was just, like, okay, well, we need to make sure our fat storage, all the stuff that we did in fall, can last us through, these cold droughts, because, probably a lot of animals would have been hibernating and, staying in their dens to stay warm with the food that they collected, right? And where does that leave us, right? unable to, the resource of food is scarce. So at the same time, we developed the ability to store food, and we could store a lot of fat. We could store, a limited amount of carbohydrates. Right, excess carbohydrates will be once again converted to fat. Right, so just once again imagine, fat being look a lot bad, but then like where are these sources of fat coming from? Right, so yeah, once again, yeah, we're being fed a lot of information, and it's we have to do our very best to take responsibility on the information that is given to us. So it's not our fault that we're eating the way we are. We are just continue to be bombarded with information that becomes truth as everyone accepts it. But at the same time, it's meant for profit and not for our overall well-being. Anyways, we won't get into that kind of conversations at the moment, but just once again, just take responsibility now, right? You know that sometimes the food industry does not have our best intention when it comes to our health, but rather than profit, right? So just you just do your own research. If you will be very helpful to reinforce yourself, right? To reinforce your mind that okay, we need to eat healthy from here on out, because the stuff that I'm learning now, or from multiple sources, or overlapping now, that this is once again it becomes our truth, right? And once the body process that truth and what you're putting in front of it, then your body will help you out in making sure that the cravings and the choices are a lot better, so you don't always have to be fighting willpower every single time. And when it fails, it if it may fail at a moment of judgment that may be detrimental, and saying that I tried my best, this is at least I did get to 6 weeks of this, but you know what, it's just it's just not sustainable. And what, I just need to get back. I tried my best, and I'm happy I did 6 weeks, but what, I miss doing this, I miss eating that. So here we are. We'll just try again next year again, and we'll see, maybe I can beat 7 weeks. And that's unfortunately, once again, we're only in February, so you're gonna wait till 10 months later to get back on track again. So yeah, once again, things happen, and I myself not perfect as well, and I'm doing this right. So but overall, I need to be healthy for my overall well-being, right? And hopefully I start fading away from these medication, right? And hopefully when I do my results in May, hopefully the doctor does call in a way that, well, you reverse a lot of things. You no longer need something for your diabetes. You no longer need something for your blood pressure. You no longer need Ozempic, right? So for a time, even when I was doing Ozempic, I started Ozempic last year in summer. It did nothing for me. I just continued to use it because overall that my doctor said it's gonna help with your heart. So it didn't do anything with suppressing my appetite. I just I felt hungry still, right? That's probably because I kept stretching my stomach, right? So I felt hungry, right? So now it feels like it's working now for me, and maybe because I just kept bombarding myself with a lot of junk food that the Ozempic just wasn't doing anything for me, right? Besides maybe providing me a healthy heart, or helping me with my heart, right? And that's it, right? So, but now obviously, the food cravings have gone down, and what Ozempic does as well, it 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 suppresses your food craving by slowly letting your food pass through your system, and that's kind of a scary thing that you're holding on to this food even longer, processing it through your stomach, right? So, but yeah, I mean, since my food cravings have gone down. I mean, these last few days, I'm searching for food, I must admit. But once again, that's why I've ended up trying out chips and then having that hard reality that, oh, this doesn't taste like I used to taste it anymore. So, but anywho, once again, yeah, it's gonna be a long week. But once again, I'm excited to just keep going here, and hopefully, I'm looking forward that my blood work will be a lot better for this coming May, right? So, uh, once again, we're heading into this second third of this challenge. So it's a 90-day challenge, and I'm definitely, I'm going to continue to push forward. And let's see. Once again, we're down to 15 pounds. And obviously, once again, the Vietnamese susu is not going to help. It's going to obviously, I was telling my body that it's not winter, but then you're once again giving the body mixed messages. I thought it's not winter anymore. I thought we're heading into spring, right? So obviously, the switch will go back into winter mode. So to probably take 3 to 5 days to bring it back to spring mode. But you know what, obviously, just taking away the sweet stuff and processed food and junk, got cleared that. Once again, that Vietnamese soup will obviously doesn't just disappear overnight. It's gonna stay in your system for a couple of days. For guys, it's a lot easier, right? But for women, it's held on for weeks at a time, right? So it's a different biology, right? So the egg that you eat may still be here till Friday, or the egg that you eat today may be still here on Friday, 2 or 3 Fridays from now, right? So once again, different biologies, but most important, that's why you need to stay on track, and to enjoy the future. You're doing this for the future self. You're gonna go through life anyways. Might as well pay it forward, right? And live your best life by making the choices today, right? So once again, you are in the situation from the choices that made in the past. So if they're great, you gotta thank the person of you in the past, and that someone in the future is gonna thank you today for the choice that you make today, right? So just bear in mind that we need to live for our future, right? We gotta stop bringing our past and living in our past, because once again, whichever stage you are in life, life is short, and we only have this one body that we are given to us. So let's continue to pay it forward, and make tomorrow just simple. Just make tomorrow, just think of what can I do. And that's my saying now. It's like, what can I do to make tomorrow easy, right? Before I was what can I do to make today easy and all tasks not needed. And then obviously it evolved. What's the one thing I can do to make today a win, right? And then that evolved too, right? To what's the one thing I can do today that will move the needle, right? And then once again, that will evolve to what my current is. What's the one thing I can do to make tomorrow easier, right? So that I bank a lot of these things for tomorrow, right? Then tomorrow I can focus on the next day, right? I set myself up for I'll just say an easier and straightforward day by either preparing my foods ahead today so that I don't have to think about food prep or what to eat tomorrow. Just ideal. So once again, whatever that helps you decide whatever line that you need to use. Whether so, what's one thing I can do today that will make all things irrelevant or unneeded, right? That can be the first start, and then you can just evolve over that over time, like I did. Like, what's the one thing I can do to make today a win? And that sometimes meant just going out for a run and getting that exercise. And I was just like, you know what, I did this today, was a W for me, right? So all right, well, once again, this is being streamed on 3 different platforms: YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Feel free to follow and subscribe. Hit those notifications buttons to get updates when I go live. Really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for your kind words, your support, and trust is needs to be earned. So to those who are doing this challenge with me, thank you so much for trusting me, and hopefully we it's not going to be perfect, but at the same time we build that extra layer of health defense against those that are wanting to derail us on this journey. All right, so yeah, once again, as always, continue to raise your environment so that you're able to raise yourself to evolve to the best version of yourself, so that in the future you can be that impact for your own environment, your community, your friends and family, your colleagues, those that are you hold dear to your heart, right? So a simple smile, a compliment, a phone call, right? Or someone you haven't talked to for a long time. That can be the difference that that may turn a bad day or a challenging day to thank you so much for calling. It makes a difference that someone's thinking about me, right? And that can be the domino that may tip over and ignite someone to pay it forward and call someone else and see how they're doing, right? So pay it forward so someone else can pay it forward. All right, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. Let's flip the switch and tell the body that it's time to release this, and let's get healthy. All right, take care. I wish you a wonderful evening and a wonderful rest of your week. Take good care.